It's showtime, folks.
Wake up, Daddy's home.
Welcome. It's the show for dads, by dads. Frankly, anybody else who wants to listen, I would say offhand, it is not safe for work for little ears, so don't write to us complaining about that. This is not for your kids. This is for mommy and daddy time, is what it is. The Dad's Home podcast. I'm Bauer. That is the sweet, nasty Chris Cause. A big event happened for my daughter yesterday. That was twofold. One, we had a little bit of an issue cause where she was coming home from school on the bus, and the bus broke down. Which we had been noticing as parents gathering at the end of the street at the bus stop that the bus has been getting later and later and later as the days for this new school year have gone on. Used to be, we'd be right out there at 3 o'clock, boom, bus shows up, drops off the kids, everybody's happy, ready to go. Like 3:10 this year, 3:15, things are just getting later and later and later this year. And then we're all standing there at 3:15, 3:20 yesterday going, what the fuck is going on here? All the parents, I mean, people, one guy, his wife was calling, like, why haven't you called me to tell me the kids are home yet? He's like, we're still at the bus stop waiting for the bus. And my wife...
But thanks for the extra nag.
Thanks for the extra...
That's what I needed.
Appreciate that right now.
Because I don't fully have the concern that I've been standing here for 15 minutes with no bus.
How about I go stand in line at the DMV for 4 hours just so I could really make my day? And,
by the way, I went to the DMV this week, and not even 10 minutes.
Really?
Not even 10 minutes. They have a brand new facility here for Polk County. That's where I am here in Florida, and bam, down the street, probably with drive, I would say it was 15 minutes.
Motherfucker! I have to go. About a month from now will be my birthday, and my license expires on that day, so I have to go get my license renewed.
Tags.
I have dreaded. I feel like if you go to the app for the DMV here in Connecticut, you can see how long the wait is for the particular DMV you want to go to. So
you got that good.
Yeah. So when I looked last, it was 6 hours for any type of registration for vehicles, and for driver's license, it was just over 2, which I thought, seriously, 2 hours for what could fucking be going on that it takes 2 hours for a driver's license?
You can't make an appointment. They don't do appointments.
I have yet to find. They tell you can. I've yet to find anything for an appointment. And when I called the DMV just to try to get somebody to speak to me to let me know what kind of paperwork I needed to bring, that was 90 minutes on hold. So it has been. So what I found out,
I never would have thought. There's 2 things now apparently that Florida does better than Connecticut.
Oh, you're not kidding.
Not only the DMV. But apparently, liquor. Laws.
God. Well, listen, we now have you can buy liquor on Sundays now, which is nice. You can buy them. I swear to God, you can go to the liquor store, you can go to the grocery store, you can buy liquor on Sundays now, which is fantastic.
So we're still at 8 o'clock. It cuts off at 8 o'clock.
I think 6. I'm relatively sure it's like 5 or 6 on Sunday. Like you have to be. It's like between 10 and 5. Those are the hours you have to go buy your beer. And that's
but 8 o'clock every other day.
Correct, every other day.
Well, yeah, because you don't want to be out late.
No, God knows. You can still go to the bar. That's not a problem. You can go out to the bar at 2 o'clock in the morning. At 1:50, you can have your last shot of Cuervo at the bar. Not a problem whatsoever. You just can't go buy it at the liquor store after 8 o'clock. So
I don't understand. Liquor laws are really
insane.
Or like at 2 o'clock. Nope, we're gonna pull the shade down at 2 o'clock. Yes. No.
Same thing with animal husbandry. I don't get those shitty laws. They're very. I mean, I just don't understand it. But the point. The point is, we've caught up on some levels. On some levels, we're still far behind because I did find out that in my family happens to be a AAA member. I don't know if you are. We have the card for AAA roadside assistance, all of that kind of wonderful stuff. A lot of those places, you can go to the AAA to take care of these very issues. I can go, if I'm in New York, for instance, the next state over, I can go to New York and get my registration taken care of at any number of New York AAA offices to get my registration on my car, to get my driver's license stuff taken care of, all of it at the AAA office. Here in Connecticut, they only handle the driver's license portion of the thing. No registration whatsoever. When I was on the phone with them, we got to catch up to the times. So yeah, you fucking do. But I can now, what I understand is I can go to AAA, not have to deal with the DMV, and get my license taken care of there. So I'm excited about that element. I don't have to go wait another 4 hours or 2 hours, as the app says, for the DMV. I can go to AAA and get it all taken care of there. I'm feeling very confident about that element, thankfully. It's no Florida 15 minutes for cause, which is would they roll a red carpet out for you and give you?
No, I'm telling you, this is the second straight year I've gone in there to do the registration. Practically walked in. They were people there. I mean, they just moved through. They had a lot of people that were working at the desks and the thing and the numbers, and then they call them out. And
they're like, you see that guy who just walked in? That guy that just walked in was in Meet Joe Black. Let's move him up to the front of the line real quick. Fucking put him in there right now.
Yeah, that's what it was.
He's a VIP. Let's get the VIP section cornered off here.
I did. I didn't even have to go through the main door. They've got a special entrance.
They had you escorted in through the back entrance. So that was a bit of a buzzkill yesterday afternoon, and then we got a message. My wife got she had her phone on vibrate, so she didn't get the actual phone ringing. She was talking with all the neighbors as I was, and there was a message from my daughter saying, Mom, the bus broke down. I'm at school. Can you come get me? So we fucking load the family wagon up. Everybody gets in their cars, starts taking off and heading to school to get their kid. We have to load the baby up, the stroller in the back, get the car, fucking take off, go to school, get to school, which is about a mile away. It's not a big deal. Mile away. No Charlie there. No 8-year-old girl there. Apparently, as I'm pulling up to the driveway, my wife gets out of the car to go run to the office to get our child, and the bus is sitting in front of the school with just water pouring out of the engine. Like it's leaked on some. There's a problem of ultimate proportions on some level with this bus, and the bus driver's like looking at me like I don't know what to fucking tell you. I don't know what to tell you.
I drive it.
I don't fix these things. And my wife is walking up to the office. I get a phone call from our neighbor who says, "Oh yeah, Charlie's at our house. They caught another bus, and so her and the son who live in the same neighborhood here took that bus, and they're now at home." So now I got to honk to my wife, have my wife come over, and then we got to go back home again to get my daughter, which left us with a whole sort of, listen, if you call us and tell us you're at the school, don't go changing that. Unless the school's kicking you out, unless the school's like, listen, it's 2 a.m., you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. You know, like
throwing ammonia on the floor.
Right. They're playing closing time. If that's about what's going on at your school.
The ugly lights have come on. Yeah.
It's about 3:10 in the afternoon, or sorry, in this case 3:40 in the afternoon. I think there's probably you could probably escort yourself out and then take off with a bus at some point. But I don't think you need to just leave going, oh, look, there's a bus. I've called my parents. I'm very much aware that I've called my parents to tell them to come get me, thinking maybe just one, not all of my entire family members would be coming in the vehicle to come pick me up. But just do me a favor and stay. Just if you call us and leave us a message saying you're there, just do me a favor and stay there. We'll figure out the rest of it. But no need to get on another bus 5 minutes after you've called us just because it happens to show up. Let's not do that. I understand the school wants to wrap things up. I understand that you hear this music as you're walking past the gymnasium on your way to the office, looking out the window because it's raining. Although it wasn't raining, it was sunny and bright, but I'm just kind of adding an image here to this song.
Sure.
And and the principal has locked the office, and she's just looking at you, shaking her head like, I can't help you out here. You should be home. You shouldn't be here. I don't know what to tell you. The bus, steam's coming out of the engine, water's just dripping on the ground.
They don't have an official method of communication to go ahead and alert parents of that particular bus?
Apparently the method is call your mom and leave a message on a cell phone. That's the method that I'm made aware of.
My son doesn't have a cell phone.
Listen, my daughter doesn't. I don't know what. I'm guessing she called from the school. But I know she has my wife's cell phone number memorized. So that's why she called that number. But I after about 10, 15 minutes, I'm like, I got to come home because my wife had made brownies for my daughter as a snack for after school. So I'm like, I got to get the brownies out of the oven for her. There was no message on the phone at home. Nobody tried calling at home. And then I get the call from my wife going, Charlie called me. We got to go to the school and pick her up. So I don't know. I was a little peeved by what their policy is for something like that. And then to just go, hey, you should. We're glad that you're here at school. That your bus broke down. We got another bus to come get you, and we're glad that you're here. Call your mom. Let her know you can. They can come pick you up here. And then sometime after that phone call, like 30 seconds, 40 seconds after you've hung up and you've disconnected, why don't you get on that bus? What are they thinking? What's going on here? Why are they escorting kids onto the bus after they just made a call?
That's kind of disturbing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know, man. I guess you guys just don't go to the same place. You should just like split up and be like, all right, you go to the school and I'll stay here just in case.
Right. I'll just stay home. We know you've called your mom and dad, or you're going to call your mom. So mom's probably going to come get you. Dad will probably be at home the entire time, or vice versa. But rationally, somebody will be at home after you've called to say, come get me to school.
You can't have the kids go ahead and call and let everybody know to come pick them up and then put them on another bus.
It doesn't make sense to me.
Because the kid Charlie didn't wander onto this bus and be like, well, I hope this goes to the right place. They were clearly told to get on that bus.
Absolutely. It wasn't like she's like, hey, I wonder where this leads. Will you take me to the chocolate store? Will you take me to Toys R Us, or are you going to my house? I don't know. Let me see. Just says fun time bussy entrance. Let me see where this goes. No, I have no idea.
Assuming that somebody led her onto the bus.
Right. It wasn't like the kid from the area just threw her over his shoulder like he's Bruce Willis saving his kid in Die Hard and running her onto the bus just to evacuate the building. That wasn't what happened.
Mr. Teeth is driving this bus.
It was this incredibly weird situation. So Charlie felt awful when she got home, and I couldn't yell at her to be like, hey, don't call us and tell us to come to the school and then not be at the school. But I could say, hey, listen, next time if you call us and say it's school, just be there. Just be there. Tell the principal you'd rather be there while we're on our way. Maybe throw a little logic at her. See what happens.
When did Charlie start school? What was her first day?
Her first day was, if I take a look here, it was the 31st of August.
31st of August.
Yes.
All right. And when is your open house?
It is I believe it's coming up on the 24th.
Right. So less than a month into school.
Yeah.
And you've already gone in. You met the teacher, like orientation beforehand or something like that. So
they have a parent social, like a parent coffee social, where all of the third grade class and then the teachers kind of come in individually during this 45-minute session and address everybody and then go away, and that's kind of been it. That's the extent that we have, as I understand it. Cause, and I know you'll like this. Charlie's teacher, the only male teacher at the school, is a former New York Jet.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it Wayne Corbett?
It is not a New York
I don't
Jet.
know why I went Wayne Corbett.
With which I am
familiar.
familiar.
It was Connecticut, and he's white, so I figured I was really narrowing it down. It was either that. I didn't think it was going to be like Neil O'Donnell.
Right.
I was like, Neil O'Donnell.
You weren't going there.
Right.
You weren't. I'm just now thinking of all the absurd jets that it could have been. But suppose he's a former Jet. Charlie complained the other day. She came home from school and said that Mr. Woodring showed his hand and how his ring finger and his pinky finger are just demolished and point the complete opposite direction.
So they don't have a Super Bowl ring on them.
Couldn't have been from weighing him down that way. I said, so he must have been a defensive player then, is what you're telling me. She said it was gross. It was so gross. His fingers go off to the side like that. So I can't wait to meet him and have a general. He's a representation of an NFL player now teaching my daughter at school. But
all right.
But it was a Jet, so everything she's going to be learning is about subpar. Probably at least a 7-9 record across the board the entire time.
It'll be non-championship.
It'll be non-championship education. So if he hears this, I'm in so much trouble, and Charlie is as well. But
you just ripped on him for putting your daughter on the wrong bus or a different bus.
I don't know if he had anything to do with it. I don't know if that's a part of the Jets' mentality. I could blame Rex Ryan if I needed to. Eric Mangini. Right. Go any direction.
Maybe Rich Kotite. How far back are we going to go back for the blame?
We can go back for a while. But the point here is that after all of that for her and the stress level she dealt with, she got home and she got a very nice gift, which was about, and perhaps we can date this just by mentioning the situation. There was a time not too long ago, maybe a little over a month ago, where President Obama.
Thanks, Obama.
Reminds me of every speech at the Republican.
I was going to say, like 2
debate.
days ago, I had no idea he was responsible for so many things.
Right.
I was learning so much.
Remember, let me see if I can bring up the video. Do you remember when, after the shooting in South Carolina, President Obama went to a church and he sang a little?
Yes,
like it was off the cuff. It was completely out of nowhere, right?
He wrapped it up with Amazing Grace.
And my daughter was incredibly touched by that, and so touched that she. I don't know if your son Zach has seen this at all, but the loom, the rainbow loom, the bracelet making, little rubber bands that you might have put on your braces at one point in time if you had braces, that she can now knit into bracelets or keychains. She made 2 keychains, one for President Obama one for the first lady, and then she made a bracelet each for the first daughters. And she was so touched by it all and asking about if there was anything not only President Obama could do, but anything that she could do to help with the situation. Let me see if I can bring the audio up here.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me.
My favorite part of that whole video is the guy who stands up as soon as he realizes Obama's singing behind him and has this shocked look on his face. What? You are not fucking doing this right now.
Or the guy in the background who goes, "Sing it, my president."
Yes. So my daughter was so touched by that whole thing, which, as I'm seeing here, the video was uploaded in June, so obviously more than a few months ago. But the point here is that my daughter reached out, sent a letter, and then sent keychains, sent bracelets, the whole thing to President Obama. Yesterday, she received an envelope from the White House. And in that envelope was a letter addressed to her, and it was President Obama's. Well, I'll say this: I don't think the president sat down and typed about it himself. I'm not going to that level. You and I know as parents that this was probably a piece of paper that already had a stamped signature on it, ready to go.
I actually believe he signs them. I'm not sure he writes it, but I wouldn't be surprised if he signed them.
And it was thanking her and explaining what we needed to do as a country and come together, and the help that we could give in this situation, how touched he was by her letter to him, and how to be strong in times like this. It was an amazingly cool thing to have to come home to, with an autographed picture of Barack Obama, an autographed picture from a secondary one that had the whole family, with Michelle and Barack Obama having autographed it. And then it came with an 8x10 diagram of what the White House looks like, where the red room is, where the blue room is, all those kinds of things throughout it. And then it had a couple of trading cards for the first dogs. The two dogs have their own trading cards that are in there as well. And she was beyond. She was screaming and so happy, and it made her day. And I said to her, I said, listen, I'm willing to bet right now that for the 26 kids you have in your classroom, none of them have gotten a letter from the President of the United States. I would be willing to bet right now that you are one of 26 kids in your class that has ever gotten a letter from the President of the United States. So she packed it all back up nice and neatly into the envelope and took it to school with her today to show off to the rest of her class, which I think is fantastic. So
see, that'll be great. And did they do some kind of like show and tell? Do you think?
I asked her. I said in third grade,
Mr. Woodring will go ahead and go, all right, I guess.
Thanks, Obama. You're gonna ruin my class day. Obama ruining education again.
Yeah. Here I am trying to teach Common Core math,
right?
Nobody understands. So
here's
we can
me.
teach for the test.
I was gonna do 10 minutes on multiplication here, but fine. If you want to talk about what the fucking president sent you about some race relation shit, go ahead. Let's deal with that. She said they don't have show and tell in third grade. They've moved. They've outgrown show and tell on some level, but she was gonna bring it anyway, just in case anybody was interested. So, and then I said, just make sure you don't get any spaghetti sauce from the lasagna on the letter, because I'm sure you don't want to frame it and put it up in your room on some level. So
yeah, that's fantastic, and that's wonderful to you get a little feedback. Yeah. That gets kids engaged.
Right.
In the whole situation. That's great.
Now listen, I've seen Veep on HBO. I'm relatively sure that the president didn't sit down and type that out on his word processor, typewriter, and/or computer. But nonetheless, I thought that for an 8-year-old to get a response like that was pretty impressive. I thought that was pretty awesome.
I would agree. So, not to mention the rest of the swag pack that comes along with it. That's terrific.
Yeah. It was pretty awesome. So she was thrilled to death. I think she's going to write a thank you note on top of it all. One of the things that I saw that I thought we'd bring to our attention today is they say it's Tinder-For-Parents, but I thought Tinder was Tinder-For-Parents on some level. I kind of felt like that
depends on the parent. I guess.
It was already out there.
It is certainly no secret that your social circle changes once you have a kid. Well, now social apps are changing too, bringing a whole new group together in a new way. The latest wave in online dating isn't who you might think.
Hold on, Mommy.
Lonely parents are now turning to social apps in search of other parents.
I met other dads locally. I met a dad in Boston.
Som Lal became one of them when his wife recently left for a business trip and left their young daughter at home. Fatherhood.
Okay, hold on. First of all,
Whoa!
it's not. She didn't abandon the kid at home. It wasn't like she was like, I have to go to work and I just don't have an extra ticket, so I'm flying to China. I'm leaving you at home, or how about your daughter's like that? Hey, that's one of the things.
Going to work.
I can't stand when, and this maybe it's me, maybe it's not, but I can't stand when dads say, well, I've got to babysit the kids. No, you don't. They're your fucking kids.
You need to be a parent.
Yeah,
That's what you're being a parent. Oh, is dad babysitting everybody? No, he's not.
No, he's being a parent. That's what he's doing.
Yeah. There's two of them, and it's
Sure.
not like, oh, one of them is the actual parent, and the other one is the fuck off, who just occasionally gets stuck with that job.
Well, there's
when
the
mom
one,
goes to work.
There's the one you call the parent, and then there's the other one. Oh, fuck him. Yeah, he's the one that shows up at the park all the time, right? What's going on with him? Is he homeless practically? What's happening here? Jesus Christ! Look at that beard he's got going on. And with that, I kind of.
Were you at the playground with me a couple of years ago?
I think we've all dads have been through that on a certain level. Cause he's staring at me. No, it could be the fact that my kid's playing with your kid and you're standing, because you're a helicopter parent. You're standing right there next to your kid, making sure that he climbs the rope ladder okay for every fucking step of the way. So you think I'm checking you out in your shouldn't be wearing those yoga pants this time of year ass. But you know what? Go ahead.
Well, I told you for the longest time, I went and I didn't wear my wedding ring because I was afraid it was going to fly off.
Yes.
While I was out running and chasing Zach while he was on the playground. So I didn't want to do that. And then and then you don't realize until like 2 hours later.
Right.
Oh, shit.
Right.
So I didn't wear it for the longest time. And I got the strangest looks from other moms.
Mm-hmm.
Be like, what is he doing here? It was like, yeah, because that's what I did. I rented this child so I come to the playground and hit on you. That's what I did.
It's insane. It is
and as soon as I had the ring resized, put on my hand, and I went to all right. Well, he's acceptable now. At least one person can stand him. Okay, that's fine. Good.
The one I always try to figure out, and I suppose this would be a great bit for a show, but be like if the two dads go together with their kids to go play at the park. Like a play date at the park, and there's two guys there sitting with wedding rings on. Is some mom who thinks she's just all this shit, like, oh, I'm so hot and I do Pilates every day, and I'm into all of fuck, it looks so good, that she's just standing there going, oh, how forward thinking of that gay couple to be here. That is so. The kids don't look anything alike.
I don't care.
I
really don't.
I feel like, I guess the end of the day, what I feel like is the minute us as a dad walk onto the fucking playground with our kids in the middle of the day, we are on some level looked down upon. We become the minority there. And
clearly. Well, we can't provide for a family.
Oh, know that. God, no, absolutely not. What the fuck? What is he doing here? Shouldn't he be working, or at least out standing in front of the Home Depot looking for some sort of work for somebody to come pick him up so he can do drywall work of some kind?
I have to go and learn Spanish before he goes.
Yeah, that's the way that it goes. But apparently, if you're having trouble finding play dates for your kid,
became tougher than he thought.
I realized that I was really alone in a lot of ways, and I think that was the same way that a lot of parents felt.
And so he developed Connecting, a new app for moms and dads. Hello Mamas and Momco are some of the others, and work a lot like Tinder, sorting not just by your location, but personality preferences, even family challenges, to find the right chemistry.
All right, now that sounds to me like you could be a creep at this point using that and be like, all right.
Because the images that I have, again, Tinder is swipe left and swipe right.
Correct.
Right? Literally, it's like you're at the bar and be like, kind of like that, don't like that, don't like, oh yeah, all right, yes. I mean, that's what you're doing. But you're just doing it with your index finger.
Correct.
So that's fine. If I'm doing that from a parent standpoint, what am I judging it by? Am I judging it by what the parent looks like, by what the kid looks like?
Yes.
What picture are you going to show me that allows me to go left or right? I'd be like, oh, I totally banged that mom. Right.
I think I see some
she
cleavage
looks good
here.
and lonely. Right.
Exactly. That's exactly.
Look at that. Oh, no. Haven't lost the baby weight. Left. I mean, what am I? Look at that guy. That guy's trying way too hard. Left.
Have you seen
that guy's wearing a Jets jersey.
Have you
left.
seen the viral video of that woman taking the selfies on the park, like taking the selfie pictures on the park? And I mean, like, I imagine that's what it's like. She's got to hold on a second. Is this lighting right before I put this picture on mommy play date or whatever the fuck it's called.
Turn around and watch your child.
You should watch your
fall off.
child before he goes head first, taking a header down the slide, you dumb bitch.
It's distance, it's age, it's location, interests, as much information as we can grab, and we put it all into an algorithm.
It's like a Match.com for moms.
Melissa Daly of Stowe recently decided to give Hello Mamas a try.
With my work schedule, I can't get too involved with school and, meet moms that way because all that stuff they do is during the week and during the day.
Yes.
Still, others prefer the more traditional route.
Do you like the park?
Maria Rodriguez says she's met plenty of cool moms at the park whose kids get along with her kids. Problem can be seeing them again, let alone getting their numbers.
And the kids were just they played very good, but at the next day, on the next week, you will never see them again.
I think it's great that Sofia Vergara takes her kids to the park. I think that's fantastic. Isn't that
For a while, I went to a playground. I went to various different playgrounds with Zach, and I met a couple of other moms because their kids played together so well.
Mm-hmm.
And then for like the next year and a half, 2 years, that became my social circle.
Yeah.
Because people that you meet, as people meet, are just out and around, and kids play together, and they love having a good time together. And so you find different ways. You meet, you get a phone number, and again, it's kind of weird because you're like, hey, baby, what's your number? But it's not quite the same thing.
Well, but I feel like there's the whole premise of that is not the singles bar, or it is not at Lollapalooza where you're trying to get a chick's number because she gave you a handy while she was high on shrooms and the Red Hot Chili Peppers was on. So I feel like there's the premise is your kid comes back and goes, Daddy, this is my new best friend, Clark or whoever it is that's at the park there playing with them.
I noticed you went with Clark.
I was going to do Brad, but then it just sounded like that's the asshole dad. So I don't want to go with Brad. But you know what I mean? Like that's all of a sudden, like this is my best friend Cynthia. We just met 5.5 minutes ago, but now she's my best friend because that's what kids do at a park.
That is what kids do.
Because the minute they committed to slide down the slide together, they're best friends forever. And so you as a parent, it's a part of your responsibility to say, hey, our kids like each other. Hi, I'm Charlie's dad, and you're obviously Clark's dad, and or mom or whatever it is. And hey, do you guys come here? I'd love for Charlie to play with Clark again at some point in time.
Yeah, they play really well together. It would be probably.
It's this thing called socialization. It's socialization without having a fucking app doing it for you. It's you literally not having to have Tinder for kids. Like it's you just interfacing with somebody there.
The playground is so much better when the other kids have somebody to play with.
Sure.
When you want to go to the playground for so long, you'd go to a playground and it'd be like, all right, go play.
Right.
Just literally go run and climb and jump and do something else that doesn't involve me for 30 seconds.
Exactly.
So I mean, when you get to that age when it's like that 3, 4, because they're not in school yet, but they're so cognizant, moving around. If they have other kids to play with, everybody wins.
Yes.
They feel better. You feel better. Oh my God! If you have somebody else that you get to talk
You're
to,
a hero because Clark's mom is like, Clark's playing now with another kid. I get the next 3.5 minutes to hang out on my phone or do whatever. Like everybody benefits from it. It's a win-win situation the whole way around.
Exactly. So there's just go and meet other people.
Just be parent. This is another part of it where I feel like, okay.
I understand that some of that can help you.
Yeah.
In some way, shape, or form. But each one of them make it sound like, I couldn't find any ability to meet other parents.
Well, first of all,
if only there was some place
I
where
will
they
say
go.
this, that the woman who
at a certain time of day where everybody goes, oh my God, it's 10:30.
Right.
I need you to run around so you have an effing nap.
How about this? You get off work at 4 o'clock in the afternoon because you have a day shift job. How about taking your kid to the park at 5? There's still kids playing at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Sure. You might meet their nannies. At least in the case of most parks around here, it's a lot of nannies going on with
and you know what? Nannies love that too.
Sure, absolutely.
Because then they all get together and talk nanny stuff, but the kids get to run around together. That's the important part.
You don't need to know their parents. You can just go, hey, nanny, you bring the kid here every Thursday at 5. Fucking awesome. I'm going to bring my kid here every Thursday at 5, and we'll play together. Right. But have that conversation. You need that app after you've had the conversation. Because if the app indicates, like if the app's like, oh, let's look at Nanny Maria's Facebook page, and she's all like, oh, Donald Trump is the greatest thing ever, then you go, all right, I'm not fucking playing with your kid again. I'm just not going to do that. I'm going to find another kid to play with at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. That's where the Tinder
There's
part
gotta
of this
be another
comes into
playground,
play, right? There's got to be some other place. Oh, wait a minute, she's there? Fuck that. We're going 5 miles out of the way to this other park. But that's where
And
you...
don't get me wrong, I've done that where
Oh,
I was
God.
like, oh, no, not that kid. No,
Right,
no,
right,
we're gonna
right.
go to the playground.
If you really want to make an app that counts, have an app that's like Yelp for parents where you can be like, that parent's a fucking asshole. Their kid's great, but that parent is a dick. That parent is such a dumb twat that I don't want my kids anyway.
I can't wait. Hold on. I'm writing that down.
I
I'm making
can't.
that app.
I can't.
I'm going to put a little signal on it. We have Find My iPhone.
Right.
Avoid that dick, kid.
Avoid that dick. And that's the thing. Like, you could have an entire category for the kid's a dick. The parents are great, but you're not going to want to play with their kids. Make sure there are other kids around to sort of buffer. And then it's the same thing. It's the opposite for that kid is awesome and my kid has a great time playing with. But good God, that parent, that dad does not shut up. He does not shut the fuck up. And that's the app that we need. This other thing, it's just get the fuck out there. And this poor woman, I understand, perhaps a language barrier. I don't know, but. She can't, she for some reason, her, and I think this is happening with so many more people nowadays, her ability to socialize and just say, hi, I'm Maria. Do your kids come here and play often? I know it sounds like a cheesy pickup line, but you're talking about your fucking kids. Your kids, their kids. Like, this is not, you didn't walk into a singles bar and go, hey, do your kids come here often? You didn't walk into a rave. Hey, I know you're on ecstasy. Do your kids come here often? Your kid's doing it at a rave anyway, dummy. There's no reason for that to happen. Right. So just go be a parent. That's it. Just be a parent.
I mean, I understand work schedules, and there's a lot of different ways, and these can help. But the reliance on, there are other groups. Yeah. You can, again, that's where it started. It was like, and I happened to walk in on this one playground where, like, every Wednesday they went to this one playground, and then it changed. Like each month, they went to a different playground. So then they kind of like welcomed me into that group because, again, same age, it worked. Mm-hmm. It was all fine, and everybody got along, and it was a good time.
Yeah.
So many different kids, and you got to find different people that you were friends with more. And so those groups are out there too.
Yes.
And again, you don't necessarily need to swipe left on deciding whether or not, well, that family looks all right. Okay, we'll go right.
And I love, wait till you hear the end of this report, because I think it highlights it highlights what kind of level of parenting is happening.
And unfortunately, there is no app for that. And these apps aren't the only way the dating world has wiggled its way to the parenting world either. Some places are now offering speed dating for moms to help them make friends. If you thought that putting yourself out there ended when you stopped being single, think again.
That's just what moms and dads need right now. Speed dating. Can you imagine?
Is it speed dating? They don't mean speed dating at the playground, right?
I'm not sure. I would have in my mind's eye, I see them having like a center at the local coffee shop. So like we're going to speed date at the local coffee shop. You get 5 minutes to sit down and have a couple sips of coffee with other dads.
That means like after they got on the bus.
Yeah.
That you head on down there and then we'll.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's better than the playground.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
It makes me so weirded out.
Come on. Jose, go slide down the slide.
Right.
Mommy's gonna try and get her swerve on here because this man looks nice.
That's exactly it. Like it means.
No, I can't open that Go-Gurt for you right now. Mommy's in the middle of something.
I feel like and I'm about to sort of re-experience this because my 18-month-old is starting to talk. She's starting to want to play with kids at the playground. Like her sister has gone with her for the majority of the time, so that's the person she follows around and plays and does all of that. But now, I'm taking her while her sister's at school, and she wants to play on the playground, which is fine. That's great. But I presume there's going to have to be, as she begins to talk more and finds best friends at the park, that I'm going to have to get reintroduced to that. But I don't have a problem with that. I feel like I don't need to go get an app.
No. I want you on that app right now.
You do? Okay, all right. Done.
I do. From a social experiment standpoint,
you want me to do that? All right, we'll see how that goes.
You need to be our parenting reporter, and you got to get the app, and you got to go and sample the app. That's what you need.
Done and done. I will get that done. I will let you know the differences between that and when my 8-year-old was of that age and trying to find friends at the park and how that worked.
It's amazing how fast I forgot everything.
Yeah.
Like the fact that you're doing it 8 years later. I just said to my wife the other day, I was like, when do you start potty training? When is that? What is that? 2.5, 3? When is that?
We've had those discussions around this very household as of late. I believe this weekend is the weekend.
When the fuck did we do that?
This weekend we are going out to go get the potty for the little one, and we also were having the conversation about, is she supposed to wean herself off bottles? I can't remember. Is that are we weaning her off bottles? When does that happen? I don't remember when that was supposed to go down.
She's eating now, and you have stuff and baby food, and you go, okay, well, how much fruit are we supposed to put in there? And all these things are like immediately, like you needed to know it at the time because it was your entire life.
Oh my God, you're obsessed by it.
Immediately goes out of your head.
And you couldn't. There was one of those things you couldn't be behind the time on it. Like you had to be either ahead of the game or right on target. You couldn't be behind. And I feel like now with second child syndrome, we're like, fuck it. She wants to drink a baba till she's 8. Who cares? I don't care. What's the harm? What's going to happen there?
What's the difference?
Yeah. So,
because I mean, I remember way back when, boy, he's always hungry. It was like 5 months.
Yeah.
Why he's hungry? Well, you know what? Because just the formula's not doing it anymore. You got to put a little something else in there and try and get him through the night. Oh, look at that. He sleeps like a rock.
Sleeps like a rock. No problemo. Done and done.
Or like when he was first, it was like, 2 months, 3 months.
Now, when you say, I just want to clear, when you say sneak something in there, you're not talking vodka, correct? Just
No, I'm not. No. I meant more of a substantive nature.
Oh, okay.
That time.
Gotcha.
For that. I mean, there may be other things. And besides, nobody does vodka and formula. That's ridiculous.
That's a good point.
It's whiskey.
Okay, got it. Okay, yeah.
Wow, he's waking up. He doesn't seem to be sleeping through it. My mother's like, well, it could be cold. We're like, we're dumb. It was like we need to open our minds to other possibilities of like, well, fuck, he's got a clean diaper. I fed him, burped him.
Right.
What else do you want?
Right. And then you're like, oh,
because early on, you don't. I mean, you go through, you're reading the manual, but there's no like, I don't know, it's 2 a.m. and he won't shut up.
Yeah.
Where's that page?
Right.
It takes time. And then I'm trying to remember back to like if I did it all over again now, like you're doing, it was like to try and remember. All I remember is, as far as the potty goes, I'm not getting just a straight potty chair that we put in the living room because that is just pooping in a plastic box with stickers on it.
Exactly. That's what it is.
So we didn't do that. We put the chair on the toilet.
Yes.
The step.
Yes.
I think that's better.
I agree.
Because then you're teaching go to the bathroom.
Yes.
Rather than just like
shit in the living room. Yeah.
Toilets.
We actually had, just as a quick, possibly a reminder, maybe you didn't have a scenario like this, and maybe I'm the only one that has. Frankly, I'm thanking God I didn't get a chance to see it. But the other day, my wife decided, well, I'm going to see, we can clearly tell when my 16-month-old Lucky is trying to take a shit. You can just see it on her face. She's standing still. It's just absolute still. Face is red. She won't move. You could be like, you throw a fucking cookie on the floor. She's like, I'm not moving. I can't. And she just stands there. You go, oh, are you pooping? You pooping? She'll look at us now. She'll kind of smell. She'll go, poop. And we know that she's pooping. So Kim grabbed her and said, we're going to show you. Here's the bathroom. Here's the toilet. Get her to sit on the toilet and see if she would poop that way to, kind of speed up the process. Just kind of make it a reference point. And nothing happened. Kim's talking to her the whole time. And says, okay, well, it's not going to happen. You're good to go. Let me take you off. Takes her off and then goes to clean something. I remember what it was, wash her hands or something like that. And my daughter turns around, squats down in the hallway and takes a shit in the hallway right there. Just dumps it like a giant, huge, grown-up shit just right there in the hallway. Like she just literally, if she'd been on the shitter for another 2.5 minutes, it would have been the first step, I think, to potty training. But so she recognized that was going on. And then she just squatted down like she was an Asian woman in a rice field and then just took a dump right there in the hallway that my wife then had to clean up. Yeah. And I just thought, that's that. I don't remember that happening with my 8-year-old. I could be wrong. I don't recall that element of it.
I don't remember that. I don't remember that happening. No.
Yeah.
No. But I do remember paying essentially $3.50 a turd because we did basically a bribe system because that's what it was. It was every time he would get a car's car.
Yeah.
When he time it so it's right before the nap.
Sure.
So you don't ruin the nap.
Yes.
The diaper, all the rest of it. You get that into a system, and just like our bodies. Normally we have a time where we're like, oh, it's time for the morning constitution. Yes. And then boom. So you get into that. That's a part of it.
Yeah.
But again, you kind of learn that on the fly too.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, we toned it. We got it down to like Hot Wheels after we had collected every fucking car there was.
Very
from
nice.
Cars.
Yes.
And then Cars 2 came out, which was awesome because it was a whole new movie and a whole new car.
And Zach's like, I can hold out on this forever. I can hold out on this forever, no doubt. Like I think we said to Charlie when she was old enough to remember that this would happen. We were like, listen, as soon as you get old enough to potty yourself, A, you're able to go to school. B, which she had wanted to do forever. B, we'll take you to Disney World. And that was like literally, and it happened to just, we had already planned the trip to Disney World, so it was just a pure coincidence. But literally, I think maybe 2 weeks before Disney World happened, or before we were set to fly down there, boom, done. And she was on and ready to go. So that's what happened for us. We had a much more expensive bride, but it paid off on that level. I'm thinking I'm going to have to find the Cars or toys or something for her to watch that I can work with on my daughter Lucky. But
the pot at the end of that rainbow is it was a lot bigger.
Pot of gold on some level. So anyways, I thought that app, I thought we could come up with $1 million apps. Like we could come up, there used to be before iPhones and tech was as good as it is now, you could go to a website and, like, for instance, if you just kind of looked around where your liquor cabinet or your liquor tray or wherever the liquor is stored in your house, and you go, oh, okay, here's what I've got. I've got about this much left of whiskey. I've got some brandy here. I've got cream de mint here. You know, you could type all of that, all of your
what you got
components into your bar,
come up with some kind
and
of
it would give you like 15 drinks that you could make from that with something else that you can add from your refrigerator or whatever. Same thing with like the stuff you could add in the fridge. You could type in some stuff that you had in the fridge and it would give you a recipe for whatever kind of dinner to make. I think we need to have an app like that says baby's crying at 2 a.m. and it runs through a checklist of things that you can go through. Obviously, the diaper checklist, obviously the feeding. But what about cold? Is the baby cold? Maybe put another blanket. Is the baby wearing a long sleeve and long leg pajamas or not? Are they wearing footy pajamas? That kind of thing can be thrown into there as well. I like that idea of a reference.
I really like that idea.
$1 million, our $1 million idea right there.
We got to put like a barcode on the baby.
Yes.
So then you could just scan it with the app.
Yeah.
And then it would go through all the other previous problems that you may or may not have had beforehand.
Hold on. Here's another great idea. With that same concept, and I agree with that. I think that's great. But with that same concept, what if you had the ability to sort of scan something? Like, there's apps for people who enjoy wine, and I enjoy wine. But there's people, you can take a picture of the label of wine and it will store it in as one of your favorite types of wines that you like to go to. That way you can refer back to it and you don't remember what it's called. You had it 3 months ago. I like that Chardonnay. Let me go here. Go into Chardonnays. Boom. There it is. One of your favorite wines that you like. The label's right there. What if we did that? Because there are tons of times that our parents are like, what the fuck did we get as a baby gift? And your friend just had a baby. You had your baby a year ago, but your friend just had a baby. You're like, I want to give them a gift, but what did we really use when we had the baby? Or even 8 years ago, you had the baby. You're like, fuck, what was it? Boom, there it is in your app. You can find out, and you can kind of put some of those favorite things in there for the kids that you can always go back to and see. I like that aspect of the app too.
I like that too. Or you could kind of expand that too to use like when you're trying to figure out, okay, who gave you what for your birthday?
Yes.
You go and you put that in under like, you get the barcode, boom, it comes up with what that item is.
Yes.
And then you can write down who gave it to you, and then you'd have your
Our dad's home podcast should have that. You know how they're constantly at a birthday party, you're constantly creating the thank you list. Who did what? You can take the picture, put their contact in it, boom, it's in your file, ready to go, and then you can send out all of your thank yous immediately afterwards. Done and done. Absolutely. See, we're brilliant.
I like that.
We won't ever get paid for this shit.
We're just ideas, man.
We are. We are idea men. That's the way we roll here, and I have no problem with that, none whatsoever. All right, Cause, it's time to dig into Journey into Sound here. First of all, let me say this. Before we get to Journey into Sound, I wanted to play this a bit earlier, but I think how many of us have experienced something like this? I don't know if you have on your street, Cause. I have here.
Speeding is a common complaint in neighborhoods with kids around. What's uncommon is the response from a dad in Douglas County. He is fed up with cars racing up and down his street. 9 News reporter Victoria Sanchez explains how he used his connections to try and get drivers to slow down. Victoria, this wasn't exactly legal.
All right, first of all, sounds like it's going to be something out of The Sopranos. I know what you're thinking, that there's going to be...
Or no, he knows somebody in the construction business. He's going to put speed bumps on the road.
His very own speed bumps. They're going to be a little different, but you get the point. Yeah, let's see.
Not exactly, Kim. This father of two works for a sign company and decided to install his own stop signs in front of his house in a neighborhood just west of the Park Meadows Mall. The signs lasted just a day once sheriff's deputies found out, but neighbors might see them again soon.
That is it right there.
Kurt Smith says he's sick of seeing people speed in his neighborhood, especially as kids dart in and out of the street on scooters and skateboards.
Car is all out of the street. I want to keep them safe, as well as my own.
You don't have to really worry about too many bad things happening. That's the only thing you may have to worry about is cars speeding.
I think it's a bad thing happening. I think that could be a bad thing happening if you're on a skateboard, if you're chasing a ball, and cars darting down the street. That's bad. That could be bad. I guess he's saying, we don't have a lot of gang violence here.
That's also good.
Also very good, yeah.
I guess that's finally worked.
Yeah.
To protect kids like 11-year-old Andrew, Kurt did something a little unconventional.
I put up some legal stop signs, but illegally placed them.
It took less than 24 hours for a Douglas County Sheriff's deputy to take them down. But these aren't the first signs Kurt's put up.
We'll see how many cars we get with these out.
He puts up those little sandwich board signs saying, caution, kids at play. Which I think a lot of people have on some of their streets.
With these and upgraded to legitimate stop signs. Neighbor Joey Herrera says he saw people slow down when they saw the new signs.
Yeah, they looked a little confused. For the most part, most people did.
And he likes that they were now paying attention.
Tune out of the news. That totally put me on.
100%.
That's all I can think of. Yeah, people slowed down.
First of all, not like we weren't expecting that from Colorado, right? On some of dude, they're all like slowing down.
Kurt knows he can get in trouble.
At least somebody noticed it.
But says if it can prevent an accident, this won't be the last of the stop signs.
I guarantee it'll be done again before next Saturday.
Jesus, he's really going out of his way. I like it.
Is that illegal sign placement?
I think that's what it is.
What's the citation misdemeanor on that?
It's exactly like a regular stop sign. It looks exactly the same size, the same shape, same everything. I don't even know if it's made of that same metal. It looked like it could be, but it also looked like it could have been made out of like some really thick cardboard on some level. But the fact is that it made people stop for a day. They at least stopped and slowed down on some level through his neighborhood, which I don't have a problem with that. I really don't. I mean, we have here, and we live on a dead-end street. Our street ends at like a preserve, a forest preserve. And yet we still get people who live in this neighborhood, who know that there are kids out and playing in this neighborhood that speed down this street, especially the fucknut who lives at the end of the street, right by the reserve. He, more than anybody else, comes flying down in his giant truck that he doesn't need to have, but he's got anyways.
Oh, it's my work truck.
I gotta fucking smelt some steel. Like I need a giant truck, man.
I was like, because you're going to meet gravediggers? I mean, what are you doing in that truck?
Exactly. And why are you going so fast? You've got a fucking truck. If there's any kind of question or concern about a giant hill you have to get up or school buses you have to run over, you'll be able to do it. There's no reason for you to be speeding down the street. Yet they continue to speed down the street. So the neighborhood here is talked about getting, which is a cute way that they do it out here in Connecticut, like a small, it's just one of those small, like if you went to Lowe's or to Home Depot and got one of those small sections of like a 4 foot or 6 foot, whatever it is wide, picket fences, and then put it on a couple of shoes and then kind of have it sitting in the street with those signs so that you have to kind of swerve around. You have to go slow around that because it takes up half of the street with a little white picket fence that you can't possibly miss. That's what the belief is here that the neighbors want to put out in order to keep things a little more quiet on this street. So, and one of the more violated places that I was scared of was walking out of the grocery store with my kids in a really isolated little parking lot where the grocery store is. But people would come flying, because it's just a straight stretch in front of this very long grocery store where people come flying down. Now, there's 2 crosswalks, one on one side where the entrance is and on the other side where the other entrance is, and they just come flying straight down there. I don't know who complained. I didn't say anything, but literally in the last 6 months, they put speed bumps up in front of the store, right there in front of the grocery store to keep everybody at a decent pace. Because people were, I would walk up to the crosswalk with my daughter and say, hold on, this person's not going to stop. And they would just come flying right by in their Beamer or in their fucking Maserati or whatever they were driving at that point, because they feel like they have the right. They had the foot on the gas pedal. Why slow down for people wanting to walk across the crosswalk? No need for that. And so for that element, I was glad they put the speed bumps in. They call them speed humps out here because they're giant in Connecticut. They're massive. They're not even bumps. They're like, fuck a bump. This isn't a bump.
Speed hill.
Yeah, this is a speed hill. You're gonna have this is Mount Speed. You're gonna have to get over this thing. And
or rename it properly. It's Denali.
Denali is the case may be. So, anyways, I appreciate what this guy's done. I think more of that needs to be done. I don't have a problem.
He probably should just commission and have some speed humps made.
That's what I'm saying.
Really is more than likely what would probably, and then you'd have to, once they're in, you'd actually have to get somebody with jackhammers to go ahead and take it out.
Right.
So it might be more involved, and then they ultimately might go,
Again, the news covered it. It got the attention he was looking for on it, and he said he's willing to do it again. So maybe the sheriff are going to come out again and see what's going on. But maybe now, somebody will take notice of that and do something about it, because I think it is a concern for parents.
We have we're in a housing development area that's pretty low key. There's a lot of older people that live in this stretch, and it's also some
Wait, in Florida?
homes.
Older people in Florida?
I know. If you could try and picture it. And some vacation homes.
Oh.
So occasionally most of the time they're empty.
Yeah.
That's, so sometimes they're filled, but they're with people who don't know where they're going, so they're not going very fast.
Right.
And, there's like one or two cars that might be.
And their turn signal's always on, so at least you
It
kind
is
of have
always
some
on.
kind of a concept as to where they're going.
Yeah. My wife got mad at me the other day because literally pulling out of Target, I'm waiting for a parking space. And the person, of course, doesn't do when you're like halfway out of a parking space?
Yeah.
And then you start to crank the wheel, so, physics will tell you that you start to get back into the... No. Full straight out, then go to the left, then pull back one more time, and then do it. So I looked like I had...
4.5 point turn? Was that a 4.5 point? That's because it's not a 3-point
turn. It was like a 16-point turn is what it was.
Louise.
And I faked like I was always, and I put like half of my face pressed up against the side with my hand. She's like, you have no patience. I have no patience for that.
I have no patience.
I have no patience.
I have no I don't know if this way out there. I don't know if it's just around here. For some reason, everybody's backing into fucking parking spaces nowadays.
What is that? Yeah, because
I don't get it. I don't get it.
The 14 seconds that you're saving.
You're right, exactly. So that way I can leave going forward. Who cares? It's gonna
because you're gonna go like immediately launch.
Yeah.
Like you're some kind of toy that has one of those. Like the big plastic ripper that you have in the back of it. You could just drag race your way right out of that parking space.
You're not going down the hill in a soapbox derby. You're fucking leaving a parking lot that it takes you 45 seconds to back into just so you can get straight. Well, I don't understand it. That makes no sense to me. I have no patience for them either.
Or like when you have the angled parking,
but
then somebody's still going to park backwards to the way in.
Insane. I have no patience for people in parking lots. None whatsoever. I'm looking forward to Christmas. None whatsoever.
None. It should be a part of the driving test.
Cause, let's, I think this, to start off our journey into sound, might piss you off.
Where's the Eric Cartman we know? The Eric Cartman we know breaks the rules, and he gets away with it. Just like his hero. Come on, who's your hero, Cartman?
Oh, let's all find out as we take a journey into sound.
This is a journey into sound.
Good to hear the boys from South Park again. I feel like, have they been on as long as The Simpsons? I mean, I know The Simpsons is the king of animation stuff, but they've got to be getting close, don't they?
This season right now starting is season 19.
Holy shit. That's awesome.
Season 19 for South Park. They do much shorter seasons.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
And like you turn around and be like, oh, is that done? Was that season over?
Yeah, yeah.
What was it, 6 episodes?
Yeah.
And I mean, they do that, and that's fine. But more often than not, their parody of different events that happen, like you don't even know what they're doing for the first 5 minutes, and then you're like, oh, that's what they're doing.
Well, and here's the thing. And I'm not trying to knock The Simpsons, because obviously The Simpsons is a huge American icon, but I've never found myself going, oh, is that the end of the season for The Simpsons? Never. I've never said that. I'm watching Ray Donovan. My wife and I are watching Ray Donovan going, oh my God, how many more episodes? I know it's going to be wrapping up soon, and I'm fucking pissed because this show's getting really good.
Here, watch this. Watch what I'm going to do about Ray Donovan.
Okay, go ahead.
Katie Holmes.
Yeah.
Has braces.
Yes.
For this season.
Correct.
She put the braces on.
Yeah.
For her character in Ray Donovan.
Really? Like that was her call?
According to her interview on Good Morning America with Robin Roberts, she said because her character has migraine headaches, she wears braces for the migraine headaches.
Yeah.
This might be one of the all-time most useless costumes / props ever in the history of television.
But yet it makes such an incredible statement.
It changes like the way her mouth looks.
And it gives
like the way she talks. And they never ever refer to it.
Hold on, but I was gonna say not to do spoilers, and I'm sure you've seen the most recent episode, but it gives Hank Azaria some great lines to come back with, which is fucking hilarious.
At least we're addressing it. You know, it was like, did you put them on her face just so Hank Azaria in episode
some jokes.
can rip on her?
I just feel like Hank Azaria is like, listen, I gotta fucking say so. I just had this scene with her. We've got to say something about this. Give me a second to say something. Give me a second to throw a line out.
Like, you know, like she needs like extra lip exercises to get around. Not to mention, it'd be like if you're Ray Donovan, you're like, I gotta slice me up a piece of. But I slice. I mean, yeah, that's probably
it's gonna shred.
Happen.
It will shred. So anyways, getting back to that.
I have to ruin that for you.
I worry about how many episodes are left of Ray Donovan, and I've never once said that about The Simpsons. I have said that about South Park, and this I guess going to be upcoming edition of South Park with something
this past Wednesday would have been the first episode.
The first episode?
This coming Wednesday.
This and timely. If nothing, those guys from South Park, they don't. There's nothing they scare away from. They address everything, and
I'm feeling I know where this is going.
They are very timely.
Hey, Cartman, what's going on? Aren't you going to, go do something about this new principal? I've already got 4 days of detention. I don't want any more. I'm gonna start following the ruse. But this isn't you, Cartman. Yeah, where's the Eric Cartman we know? The Eric Cartman we know breaks the rules, and he gets away with it. Just like his hero. Come on, who's your hero, Cartman? Tom Brady. Right, and what does Tom Brady do after breaking the rules? Deny and subvert. Yeah, what would Tom Brady say if he got caught shoplifting? Everybody shoplifts, why are you coming down on me? Yeah! You're Tom Brady, Cartman. And that new principal in there is the football commissioner trying to dictate his punishment to you. And what happens when an invulnerable cheater comes up against an elitist corporate dictator? Perfect storm of hypocrisy that everyone in the country has to deal with for months on end. Yeah! You're right, guys. I'm gonna Tom Brady this thing. Yeah! I'm gonna say, you're not giving me 4 days of detention. You're only giving me 1. Yeah! No, to hell with that. You're giving me no days detention. And then I'm gonna go home and fuck my hot wife, who's not even that hot and kinda looks like a dude. Yeah! Thanks, guys. I almost forgot the lessons that football has taught us all. I can get around these pesky rules. Butters, I'm going to need your underwear.
It is, I mean, on every level. Just
I'm trying to think, what fans are Trey Parker and Matt Stone? What NFL fans?
Where could they possibly?
Fans of? Where are they from?
They never ever bring their favorite team into South Park, do they? They never.
And what team gets farther in the playoffs than they do?
It's a rhetorical question.
I'll ruminate. Probably give you another answer next week.
Apparently, The Daily Show is about to reboot, and on Stephen Colbert, you had one Trevor Noah come on to talk a little bit about the Republican debate.
Did you watch the Republican debate last night?
Unfortunately, yes.
You did, all right. All right.
That was one of the moments of regret, Stephen.
Yes?
I sat, it was 3 hours, 10 minutes, 15 minutes?
Yeah.
And no one said anything. Ask me a question, I'll show you what they did. Ask me any question, anything, about policy, anything.
Policy? Okay. Do you think we should build a border wall with Mexico?
Well, Stephen, and first of all, I thank everyone for being here. We're all great in this country, greatness, and the taxes we need to. With Iran, if we look at what's happening, Obamacare, no. I think we try and find a place where this is a great country, America, unity, justice, together. Thank you very much.
I would vote for that person.
I think it's very nice of Stephen Colbert to try and help out this horrible choice to replace Jon Stewart as the host of the Daily Show.
I've got the DVR set up to record it, and I've recorded the first week. And
I'll watch the first week, and even I'm watching Larry Wilmore now, and I even think this particular week. I mean, he's 100 shows in now, a little more than 100 shows in, and just now it's starting to get into a little bit more. I don't particularly enjoy all the sycophants that he kind of brings on.
Right.
I understand he's bringing about his own correspondence.
Yes.
From the Daily Show idea, but that's meh.
Yeah.
It's not quite where I'm at so far here on it, and I like the panel idea, although that doesn't do a whole lot for me either. But
have you had the opportunity to watch the Colbert Show, the late night Colbert Show?
I have not, because
I will say this: get the CBS app. I did, and found out that you can get at least they have the last. When I first checked in probably a couple of days ago, they had the last 3 episodes up there ready to go for free on the CBS app. So it might be something worth looking at.
I will definitely look into the CBS
It's
app.
good.
I've seen some clips. I saw the other the Kevin Spacey clip.
Yeah.
Where he was interviewing him. I also noticed, I'm like, this Stephen Colbert, his hair is a little bit more, it's a little fluffier. It's a little more out there. It's not the same kind of straight-laced.
Right.
It's a crazy Stephen Colbert.
Crazy, let loose. Like at any moment he could start dancing.
He's letting his hair down.
Like Kevin Bacon in Footloose at any moment. Yeah, I agree with you, and I'll give it the week, but I'm not feeling like this is going to be a confident move on behalf of The Daily Show.
I think ultimately they just went through a whole line of people who turned it down and turned it down and turned it down, and then somebody has to do it. So,
friend of the show and former guest of the Dad's Home podcast, Paul Mercurio, is working on the Colbert Report. I don't know exactly what he's doing right now. I don't know if he's warming up the crowd. I don't know if he's writing. I do know, because I've tried to book Paul for an interview next week, I do know that he is going out to the Emmys for The Daily Show. So he's flying out to the Emmys to be a part of the Emmys should they win again, which they should. And then he'll be back to talk at some point next week. But he's taking pictures of himself at the Colbert Show, where he's sitting every night from the wings of the Colbert Show. So he's doing something there. I don't know what it is. I don't know if he's going to do Daily Show still or what's happening. But
good for him.
Yeah, good for him. Cause I know that you we'll get back to the Republican debate in just a minute here to wrap things up. But I know that you, like me, are big fans of holiday movies. Oh, the Causes are huge fans of holiday movies, and I've got 2 that probably couldn't be more different. But that are
be the intern.
Already showing trailers for these 2 movies. This one, starring Seth Rogen, The Night Before Christmas.
'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the borough the children were snuggled, their presents wrapped thorough. But this tale's not about presents or Santa or ponies. It's about 3 dudes, 3 bros, 3 ride-or-die homies.
Gentlemen, 14 years ago to this very night, I lost my parents. And you guys have been with me every single Christmas since then. You knew. But tonight, we have decided to end this tradition. Chris is just too famous to hang out with us anymore. And Isaac's about to have a baby.
You have been such a rock throughout this whole pregnancy. Tonight, just focus on yourself.
Whoa, shrooms? Is this cocaine? You haven't done cocaine for 11 years, I don't think.
Yeah, no one has, I don't think.
Holy
11 years cocaine. It's Seth Rogen. It is Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Miley Cyrus has a big role in this, apparently. Anthony Mackie, Mindy Kaling is in it. Kanye West is supposedly in it. And there's one scene in the trailer that looks pretty interesting. They're all wearing their horrible Christmas sweaters. You know, the Christmas sweater party theme kind of.
Yeah, sure.
Of course, Seth Rogen's wearing his Star of David, very Jewy sweater, as the case may be, and his wife, who's the girl in Workaholics, the blonde girl who plays the co-worker with the guys in Workaholics.
Oh, yeah, okay. I can't remember what her name is.
She's Christian. They're at church, and he's high on shrooms and coke in this scene.
I'm Jewish.
Yes, your sweater. Don't you dare throw up in here. Swallow it like a girl would.
In church.
No, bark back. Is it still happening? It's still happening a little.
He then points at the Jesus Christ on the cross and says, "We did not kill him. We did not do that to him," and runs out of the church. It looks bad.
The clips you were playing are designed to get you to watch the movie, right?
That's the thought.
I mean, that's...
But because it gets worse.
After the amazing success of the interview, which on its own, by all means, without any fanfare or any other kind of publicity that came along with it, really, really stood on its own and made plenty of money.
Yeah, right.
Because ultimately it wasn't
good. But there might be something worse. There might be one that
Please
tops
be the
it on
intern.
the worst front. Oh no, this is a holiday themed journey into sound.
I'm sure that there's a holiday in there.
With the kids jingle bells.
Merry Christmas! Looks like Martha Stewart threw up in here.
This is delicious, honey.
A little dry.
Well, mine's delicious.
Mine's dry.
Do you want to trade?
It's
Christmas. It's Christmas. It's Christmas.
with those holiday greetings and gifts.
Oh.
How we were going to survive Christmas with 12 people stuck in a house with no heat and no electricity.
Or food.
There's plenty of leftovers, Howard.
Beer it is.
Now, it goes from being shitty family comedy where everybody hates each other kind of concept to making a turn at some point to horror movie. And if I may, Adam Scott is his name, who you might remember from Parks and Recreation.
Or Party Down.
Party Down. Has a lead in this. The movie is called Krampus. Krampus. And we're going to post the trailer at the Dad's Home Podcast website. It's Dad's Home Podcast.wordpress.com. Because just when you and by the way, let me just kind of tell you who's in the cast of Krampus, just so you get an idea. Again, this is a holiday movie who involves Adam Scott, Toni Collette play the two leads in there. David Koechner is in there.
I thought I heard David Koechner at the end about beer.
Yeah. And then a bunch of people I've never heard of before. That
not a good start.
It's really those are your top notch. Those are your A-listers in that movie. But let's hear where this movie gets. Everybody hates Christmas, right? Because everybody hates to be with the family. One kid tears up his letter to Santa, throws it out the window, and that's when things go wrong. And then there's a wise old lady to explain everything.
St. Nicholas is not coming this year. Instead, a much darker, ancient spirit.
Those are hooves. Elk or a goat?
What kind of goat walks on its hind legs?
His name is Krampus. He and his helpers did not come to give, but to take.
Everybody, hold on to each other.
He
will kill you. Apparently. I guess that's what she's... Krampus is coming to destroy your Christmas.
It's a Christmas horror parody.
I'm not even sure that it's a parody. It might just be it might be parodying one of those lame, nobody gets along, like Christmas Vacation kind of at the beginning, and then it turns into a shitty horror story.
Horror
slasher, getting dragged through the snow, kind of. I'm not exactly sure, but it's got an incredibly evil hand and a snow globe, a Christmas snow globe as its poster. It looks awful.
Wow.
Krampus.
Okay, well, something's got to give Pixels a run for its money, right?
Has to. Absolutely has to. And last but not least, for those of you watching the GOP debate, not being able to get enough of Trump, I thought, what if Trump, what if you took all of the press coverage regarding Donald Trump, what if Trump were a sandwich? What if Trump were a sandwich? Not what kind of sandwich would he be, but what if he was a sandwich?
Trump's a big personality, and this is a big sandwich.
Eat it.
Okay. Cool, I get the idea. This sandwich is a little cheesy, but gives it to you straight. What other sandwiches do you have?
You're not done. Keep eating. We know you can't get enough of the Trump sandwich.
All right.
He's a little disgusted. It's a 5-foot-long, orange-topped Trump sandwich that, if you really think about the way things have gone with the Trump coverage...
I can't eat any more Trump.
Do it.
What?
Eat the vomit. Eat your own vomit. There's part of the sandwich in it. You will eat it. You will eat it, and you will like it.
I puked up my own puke. I puked up my own puke.
Eat the puke again. You ordered the Trump sandwich. It's what you wanted. Now eat it again. Eat the puke you already threw up twice.
It sounds like everybody we've all sort of vomited up our own Donald Trump, haven't we, as of late? And yet it keeps getting shoved down our throat more and more. Eat more of it.
Have you actually met somebody who is supporting Donald Trump other than Tom Brady?
I just heard Tom Brady was the only one, but that's it. Yeah, that's the only one that I can tell.
That's
you.
the only person I've seen that other than Donald Trump.
Most of those
that
people
is putting a face, and frankly, other than Ted Cruz when he tries to kiss Donald Trump's ass.
Yeah,
and just trying to get the VP nomination.
Sure,
but it's like he gets 30% of these polls.
But I don't know anybody.
I don't know anybody.
Most of those people I think hate me.
We make fun of other people for supporting Trump. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are other people I was like, oh, how many Trump signs do you have out front?
Right.
Things like that. But that's it. I don't know anybody.
The force feeding of the Trump is and what I noticed the other day, in addition to the fact that Jake Tapper was a shitty host of a debate where he could only ask questions. It was like a fucking reality show. It was like watching the Kardashians talk. It was like, it was like the recap of the Real Housewives of whatever shitty city going, yeah, did you know Teresa called you a cunt? And then let them fight. That's what it was. That's what it came down to.
It really was the first 5, 10, 15. It just wouldn't stop.
No, it was
at the beginning. Donald Trump called you ugly.
Yeah.
What
do you think of that?
Would you like to respond to that?
Right.
I was like,
hey, what?
Well, I never called you ugly.
Right.
And there's plenty of reason to.
Right.
I guess you just did.
Right. Donald Trump called you ugly. Would you like to run over and kick him in the balls real quick? Like it came down to that. Like that was the debate on behalf of CNN. And then it would
That's right. Later on, I'm going to give him a low 5.
And then with the exception of Donald Trump, everybody else had something to kind of go in depth on. But then Donald Trump would just get lost, like Trevor Noah was talking about. Donald Trump would get lost as soon as it became something that he had to have some intricate knowledge of the 14th Amendment. He would just be like, and the 14th Amendment, I've got a lot of legal experts who tell me the 14th Amendment sucks balls. And let me just tell you this, if we could get rid of that, then we would be just fine. He would never get into anything. Everything was surface level. Anything his people just peeped in his ear, he rolled with. And congrats to him for memorizing all of that element, but then never going below surface conversation on anything to really bring depth to it. That's what that entire debate was.
I enjoy when you have different experts that are like, I don't really think there's a front runner right now.
Yeah. Yes.
I was like, hey, thanks, Republican pollster Frank Luntz. Because if you keep telling yourself that, it'll really happen.
It was 3 hours of just a joke and a debacle, and thankfully I couldn't take it and had to turn it off. There was just nothing that was of any interest and
what I found
content.
myself doing over time. There would be like time would go on, and they'd be like, "Hey, Donald Trump thinks you're fat." Donald Trump, what do you think of Donald Trump? After we spent so much time doing that, they turn around and finally Jake Tapper goes, "Senator Rubio."
Yeah.
And I go, "Oh yeah, shit, Senator Rubio's running for president, isn't he?"
Right.
And then time would go on, and it'd be like, Governor Huckabee.
Yeah.
I looked at it. It was like, oh, yeah, you're there, too, aren't you?
And I love some of the guys who just had to pander to the camera. Like, with as little time as Chris Christie got, and rightfully so, there at the debate, he would look straight into the camera. Oh, you're not kidding.
He filled up the time he had? No, I want you to turn the cameras around so we can really... This is about you. It's not about me.
Right.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Could you pander more?
The pandering was absolutely insane. And then you would go back to Jake Tapper with another shitty question.
I mean, you are pandering.
Very good. That's a very good clarity. I appreciate that. And that, my friends, is your official journey into sound.
This is a journey into sound.
Oh, I was hoping for something that wasn't so blowhardy, and yet we got the immense amount of blowhardy from the Republicans that we all ended up.
And I did not watch the kids' table debate that was earlier on. I didn't do that. I couldn't get to 5 hours of blowhard.
I don't blame you. I think you've exceeded. That would have exceeded the limits at that point.
Speaking of guys like, oh shit, you're running for president, Governor Pataki.
Right.
What are you?
I completely
that's
forgot.
right.
Yeah. What are you at 0.8% or somewhere around there? Good for you.
Aspiring.
Glad.
0.8%.
That's it for us. Feel free to reach out to us at Dad's Home Podcast on Twitter, and you can follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dad's Home Podcast. And all of the stuff you heard there from the Tom Brady South Park to Noah on Colbert to the Krampus, which you've got to see. You've got to walk away from me, cause, and promise me you'll go watch the Krampus trailer, because it is something else. Like, you will go, what the fuck did I just watch? Is that comedy? I don't know what.
Yeah, I have a feeling that's what. I imagine that's supposed to be a parody.
We'll have to see how it goes, because they really, honestly put a lot of work into the scary element of that, more than I would have imagined for a parody. Until next week, for Cause and myself, Dad's Home Podcast. See ya.
What brings you